Women on a mission. If you want to create and make that big impact, your best-selling book is the answer. And today we have Charmaine Hammond here because she is the queen of making an impact with books. And hello, Charmaine.
Hi, Laura. Excited to be with you again.
I know. And every time I interview you, I learn so much. And we always have a very engaging, rich conversation about anything. But today we are talking about leveraging books. You've been in the Voices of the 21st Century book, what, 5 or 6 times now?
Five times.
5 times.
Yeah.
With that beautiful latest book that we came out with.
I know.
It's so pretty. Voices of the 21st Century, women transforming the world. Yay. And you can find that at voicesofthe21stcenturybook.com. And we are, every year we do a bestseller book, and we do that because we have women who are on a mission, who are here to make a big impact. And you have been kind of one of the role models here for how to make a big impact. Why don't you catch us up? Give us how you've made a big impact with one of your recent books.
Oh, wow. Well, even my first book, I'm still making, leveraging that. And that was 13 years ago. On Toby's Terms came out. And one of the ways I do that is I offer bundling that with whatever my new book is. And I know there's authors listening right now that might have been in Voices of the 21st Century, and maybe they have a book from before. Really start looking at how you can bundle that. One of the things I did recently is reached out to some service clubs and offered them a mixed box sale where I took some of my different Voices of the 21st Century books and On Toby's Terms and created a package for them. And 50 books was one of the options. And I saw immediate yeses coming in. And now that we have the new Voices of the 21st Century, I'm doing that campaign again to add that one into the mix.
Well, I love these books, the Voices of the 21st Century books, because, they're not like a how-to book, but they're inspirational stories, transformational stories, educational stories that uplift, inspire, and give people hope. So who doesn't need that? It's like universal, right? And you work in corporate a lot, and you even use this book. Is that correct?
Yes, I was actually speaking a week ago at an organization, a nonprofit association, and I actually used Voice of the 21st Century as my door prizes as part of the quiz. So I bought a few of them with me as door prizes and actually read from it. And so that's what I love, is that that the book has such applicability, because there really truly is something in there for everyone. And the other piece I think that's phenomenal about Voices is that it also has a niche market. So there's something for everyone, and it's a very niche market in terms of it's written by women, and many of the stories are female specific. And so it's, when we think of marketing, we have Mother's Day coming right up. That's another opportunity for authors to start thinking about, what am I doing to make an impact on observances that happen throughout the year.
We even have, I think, in this month, Administrative Assistance Day or something like that, right?
We do.
All of May in Canada, I think, is Victorious Women's Month.
And then we have May, the first week of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Week. And so observances are just such a great way to generate impact for your book.
I love that. I know you have so many strategies, and you're going to be taking a deep dive into how to make a big impact, boosting your selling more books and making that bigger impact, because the more books that get out there in the ways that you specifically talk about, the more impact they can make. It's not just about selling the books to get money. It's about making the bigger impact that you want to make and that the book can make itself, correct?
Yes. And connecting the book to what it is you're passionate about, or your personal sort of mission and message, and also even being able to support some of the charities that you love. And I've done that repeatedly with my books, as well as Voices of the 21st Century.
Yeah. So, and I want to highlight something you said really quickly in how you do this, was you read from the book during your speech, during your talk, during your event.
Put
That
my
is,
little placeholder. Find my
I love
chapter
that.
easily.
Right? That's great.
Mhm.
It gives people a sense of it and they want it. I've even had people, speakers that I've seen hand out the book and have somebody in the audience read it, the place that you bookmarked.
Oh, I like that idea.
And guess what? They're
I'm
not
gonna
going to
have to
want to give
borrow
that
that.
book back. They might have to just buy that book, right?
That's genius.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's all kinds of ways you can monetize your book and make that impact. So
Mhm.
tell us about this training you're doing next week. I believe it's April 12th at 1 p.m.
Yes.
Pacific at speakersuccesstraining.com. You can learn about that, but tell us about it.
Well, we're going to be talking about several key things to make this big impact, to sell more books, to really make your book become part of your message and movement or mission. And so one of the things that we're going to look at specifically is what are the observances and calendar holidays and special days that are coming up in the next quarter from April 12th session? And how can you plan and strategize whatever your book is? Whatever your audience is, we'll teach you actually how to do that, the strategy that I use, and how to find these calendars. And then we're going to talk about how do you then take that one step deeper. So this is a new piece. If authors have heard me talk about observances, you probably haven't heard me talk about this piece. And this piece is how do you connect with the businesses and brands and organizations that celebrate these days? For example, if your story in a book or you have a book that's about your journey with cancer, what are the businesses that support people in dealing with cancer? What are the charities that are connected? And then how do you look at those observances and work with them? That's where it gets really juicy. And another thing that we're going to be talking about is this is new for authors that have heard me speak before, is we're going to talk about how do you use school presentations to sell your adult book? So how do you go into a elementary school with a book that you wrote for adults? What does that look like? And I can safely tell you that when my book On Toby's Terms came out, which is not a children's book, it's appropriate, I guess, for children, but it's an adult book, it's a memoir. So I had numerous paid speaking engagements in elementary, junior, and high schools. And the focus was on me talking about what it's like to write a book and what it's like to be an author. So that's a really interesting angle that most authors are missing. They come from it from the angle that my book is not for children. Why would I speak for schools? And I'm going to tell you, but wait, you can.
And do you speak to the staff and the faculty? Is that what you do?
I actually speak to the students. So imagine,
students.
So I had a class, a gymnasium of grade kindergarten to grade 4. And my book is that book is clearly, that was the only one I had out at the time, and Chicken Soup for the Soul, neither of which are kindergarten, grade 1, 2, 3.
No.
But I was talking about how a story becomes a book, what it's like to write a book. And that was the focus, because schools want to promote literacy and they want to inspire the arts in children. So there's some very interesting marketing angles that I'm going to teach you about that.
Oh, it's going to be juicy. Another very, very juicy. So who should come to training?
So if you're an author that has a book that needs some love, maybe it started to grow roots in your home, definitely for you, because we're also going to be talking about my 10-point book event signing to-do list. So you're going to get a really cool tool that we've created and how to make these events profitable. If you are an author in a collaborative book, for example, Voices of the 21st Century, this is a perfect event for you to be at, to learn how to now make an impact and sell more books. And even I would suggest, if you know you're going to be writing a book, even if your book is not written or it's not out yet, this is a very helpful workshop, because what happens mostly, and you've seen this, Laura, people put all that energy into writing the book, and then the book is out. Now we have to move into marketing. And in that phase, we lose valuable time. And the best time to be marketing a book and strategizing your marketing is while you're writing the book. So if you are writing a book or going to be writing a book, you will learn a lot that you want to start working on early as you're writing your book.
And if you feel like the book is in the future, like you can't get your mind around it, you're not ready to, I want to invite people to consider being a Voices of the 21st Century author, because that's 3 pages. You write 3 pages, it's 1,000 words. And it's not that hard to do. That's double spaced, like, well, it winds up being 3 pages on a smaller, 9x5 book. And it's not that hard. And especially because we guide you through that process.
Totally.
If you've been a Voices author more than once, or in any of our books, if you're thinking of being an author, I love that, then join us. If you've been an author of your own book and there's some dust collecting on it and you're wondering, what is this? Don't let that take your energy away. Let's put some energy and life into it. And I feel like you have those strategies, because people, it sounds like, are going to walk away with like a quarterly plan of things they can do this quarter to monetize their book, to make a bigger impact, to align it with the vision that they started this year out with, right? Oh, it's juicy. Yes. So juicy. So if you've been wondering about how to leverage your book and trying to get it into your existing work, or monetizing it, or just get greater visibility for yourself, your mission, you have a vision. That's why we have you, Charmaine, coming to talk to us about selling more books and making a bigger impact on the Speaker Success Training. If you're on our mailing list with Women Speakers Association, you're going to get all the details, the Zoom link and all that. If you're a Premier member, if you're not, then go to speakersuccesstraining.com. You'll see the details, and you can register there. So this is so generous of you to give us this training. Any piece of advice you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Oh, here's my, I love people stepping into action right now. I would love people to go and look up for the next month or 2, any special dates or holidays or observances that you think might be of interest or relatable to your readers of your book. And if you're not quite finished your book, your future readers, and just start to get your head around all the many different marketing items. And not to worry, we'll be teaching you what to do with those on April 12th.
Yay. It seems like an observance could be a certain business's anniversary, or their own things, a sale that they're going to do. So there's so much you can capitalize on here. Oh, this is going to be so good. So speakersuccesstraining.com. Charmaine is going to give her latest and greatest training, and it never fails. I always learn something. Even on these interviews, I learn. Thank you for making it so rich. And I will see you next week, and hope to see all of you viewers there as well on Voices at Speaker Success Training, the Women Speakers Association, speakersuccesstraining.com. class. So thank you, Charmaine. I'm
Laura,
your host. Happy to have you here, Charmaine, again. Thank you.
Thank you.